The enormous wealth generated by gold meant that by 1860, Ballarat boasted the finest collection of bluestone and brick buildings in the entire colony. A walk around the city streets, rich with graceful and timeless architecture, will have you reliving Ballarat's golden past. We're here for the final round of the Women's Subaru National Road Series. It's the tour of the Goldfields here in sunny Ballarat. We have an excellent field. We're going to kick off today with stage 1, a criterium over 42 kilometres here in beautiful Victoria Park.
It's pretty wide open, only a couple of corners, and yeah, if it comes down to a bunch kick, there's quite a few girls that could take it, so it's going to be a really interesting day.
I love NRS racing, and my two girls are getting into cycling now, so it's nice being able to ride with them. Stephanie's 12 and Caitlin's 10, so I think in a few years they'll really look forward to coming away with me.
They might be racing against Mum one day.
Yeah, maybe. That would be quite fun.
All the top teams decided they were going to get to the front early and try and show that they were the strongest, and that's exactly what we saw. It brought us up to sprint number 1, the first of the intermediate sprints, Laura Lee Moss taking out the sprint from McConville, and then Ruth Corset into 3rd place. The race was animated by a breakaway mid-race. About 6 girls got away, Lisa Keeling and Janelle Crooks being a part of that 6 riders, and they made the pace. They made everyone chase out to them towards the end of the bike race. Rebecca Wysack decided she'd had enough of the breakaway being clear. She was the first one to bridge across, but it was all back together for sprint number 2, and it was the newly signed Wiggle rider Jessica Mundy who took out sprint number 2 here today. As the race went on, about 5 to 6 laps to go, and we saw the Masters Australian champion Bridie O'Donnell, superb time trialist. She looped off the front of the bunch and she went out to just over 20 seconds lead. At one stage there, it looked like they weren't going to bring her back.
I actually felt terrible, so I thought I would get caught much more quickly, and then that terrible thing happens where you get your hopes up then and you think you might be able to hold it off. But clearly there were some very motivated teams, a lot of good sprinters, so I just didn't have enough power then to hold them off on that last lap, and they really got me in the final sort of 500-600 metres.
But as they came down to the finish, Holden Racing and Specialised Securitor decided they had the riders who could win this bike race. They got on the front and gobbled up Bridie O'Donnell just in the last 200 metres, and it was former Australian Criterium champion Kimberly Wells who took out the stage here today.
I was a little bit worried that I might have to do some sort of kilometre effort flyer to try and catch her at the end, but thankfully some other teams reeled it in and we could have a bit of a kick. I mean, before the race, it's a sort of course where it can come down to a bunch sprint, but it's also a course where the breakaway can survive, so I wasn't really sure how it was going to play out. It was very important for us as a team to make sure that we were represented in the break and that there was a good mix of riders. Certainly that breakaway could have survived today, but there are a few other hungry teams within the bunch that weren't represented that brought the gap down.
So after all of that racing, incredibly, Ruth Corset takes the yellow jersey by 1 second over Kimberly Wells due to time bonus that she scored out on the course. The City of Ballarat yellow jersey for Ruth Corset. The IRIA sprint jersey leader is Jessica Mundy.